Fun fact, I said deep dick pizza during sex once, and it made the girl laugh so hard that we stopped.
I hate that.
I hate that.
Fucking hate that. Stop laughing.
She obviously wasn't the one.
No, she was not.
How does finding something funny, like with women too, it's like finding something funny kills the mood?
Well,
Can we just fuck?
Well,
I'm sorry,
so
I made a joke.
she
honestly,
was laughing
I've
so
made-
hard that she couldn't get the rhythm anymore. So it was like just awkward us having sex because
mid-stroke, yeah.
Not to humble brag, but I've definitely made women laugh during sex, but it's never gotten to the point where we've stopped having sex.
they're not laughing hard enough.
Well, I think it's just because the type of women I have sex with are just goofy bitches to
Oh,
begin with.
sorry. Didn't mean to cut you off.
Ramon, yet again, it doesn't bother me because I do have sex with men, but I also
I know.
have
Well,
sex
I'm
with
insinuating
women.
you're full gay. That's the part that should bother you.
Yes, but
I'm
I'm
stripping you
I'm
of your
insinuating that
straightness.
you are closeted gay, so you
I'm
use
not
women as a
closeted.
beard.
This would be like
I'm not
this would be a
closeted.
very welcoming. No, shut up, Hassan.
Hassan,
I'm not
Hassan
taking-
always backs me
I'm
up.
Hassan
not taking
has
criticism
spoken.
from anyone who throws up after stream
Oh my god!
with body dysmorphia.
Here
okay?
again with the body dysmorphia.
Sorry, I hate
the
to
body
say it,
shaming
but
Hassan.
look,
We
if
don't
you-
body shame.
if you can't
Ramon.
love yourself, how the hell are you going to tell me who I should love? You know
Shout
what
out
I mean?
Rude Thought. You know who you are.
Yeah.
Yep. Shout out Rude Thought. We can't say her screen name, so that's a great way to bypass the legal name issues. Though I don't think she would sue us for using her name, but just in case.
I would like her to fucking try.
Ooh, fighting words from Jacob over here. Oh my God. Okay, we were gonna close the episode, but I want Jacob before we end to recant the I think he knows the crack story because you babysat.
Fuck.
You babysat them in Seattle.
It's
and that
been
was
so
a
long
great
since
story.
I thought about that.
Can you do it? Can you do it for us, for the listeners?
Yeah. So basically, this takes place between me, a person only now known as Telephone Chan, from this point on referred to as Tel.
By the way, I know you guys are probably annoyed by these screen names that we're using, but
Discord, baby.
Discord, most specifically, more
4chan.
specifically, a Mongolian basket weaving forum that I will not name has a Discord server that I joined during the pandemic because I was bored, and that's where I met Jacob.
Yes.
Along with a cast of other characters that I mostly do not interact with anymore.
I wonder why.
Well, they're not all bad.
No.
It's a lot less white supremacist than I was expecting it to be.
I think there's
Yeah, I'll say.
I think there's maybe like
Maybe two or three.
three people on there
Two or three
that I still
actual
talk
Nazis.
to that I would actually
Oh, well, yeah, 2 or 3 people that we talked to.
Well, it's
Same
crazy.
here.
All of like the crazy racist people that we got were like Asian.
I mean, that just goes to show.
Or well, there was also Dave.
Oh, yeah, Dave. Dave was a fun character.
Dude,
Remember when
what an arc.
last 4th of July, he came to, we all had like a meetup where we did fireworks, and he came to the meetup with a bunch of gabapentin in his pocket.
Which is
that he was handing out like candy.
which by the way, they use that to tranquilize cats.
Yeah, so he was just handing out cat tranquilizers.
It's an
to people.
anti-anxiety med for cats.
And then he got super fucking wasted and just challenged people to sparring, which I don't know about you, but like that's a pretty solid indicator that you're closeted. if
He's
you're just,
not
like,
gay.
asking to wrestle people on the ground.
He
on
was
4th of
very
July.
adamant that he's not gay.
Yeah, and that's what made me think he is.
Exactly.
He was very adamant about the fact that he wasn't gay, much like my co-host Ramon.
Tie-in, nice.
No,
Brought it around.
whatever it was.
Got his ass. He was on his phone.
He's
so
too
he couldn't-
busy looking up NBA stats.
Yeah, he's looking up
Looking
NBA
at pictures of-
I am
He's
literally
looking up
checking to see if there's any update. on
Kyrie
that.
Irving penis right
looking,
now.
No.
looking at
There are plenty. Look, if I wanted to see an NBA player's dick, there have been enough like dick pic leaks of NBA players out there. Okay, I could
knows.
fill in a whole.
He knows where to find him.
Well, I'm plugged
ladies and
into the
gentlemen.
NBA sphere. Of course, I know.
he's
Of
watched
course
the,
he knows. Of course he knows because he's
course
an
I know.
NBA fan, not because of
Exactly.
anything else.
He's
Exactly.
watched the air quote documentaries.
Well, to be fair, some of the dick pic wasn't. Well, yeah, obviously you could make it gay, like if you're Matt looking at it. But like one of the guys who got his dick pic, or not a dick pic, it was like a dick video leaked, was because he accidentally posted a video of him getting head from his girlfriend on his IG live or his Instagram story.
honestly kind of sick.
Yeah,
That's a good way to leak.
it was fucking hilarious. Yeah,
Um,
Jamal Murray, folks.
So I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna go back to telling the story. Did you guys watch all the dick pic videos of Joey Salads when those came out?
No, but I know what you're talking about. Like I think I saw one where he like peed on something.
Yeah, there was
Or,
one
like,
where
he
he
peed on himself. Or
yeah
some
he
shit.
there was one where he peed on himself, and then there was another one where he put his dick in between a hot dog bun and then put mustard on it, and that was the
Oh.
whole video.
Jesus.
Oh, he is from.
And then he ran for Congress, so
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
was pretty funny.
Where is he from? Staten Island or something?
Yeah.
Like, he's like
Yeah.
a little Nathan's hot dog right there.
Yeah, No, and like it filled out the bun like surprisingly well, and I was sitting there like,
What was it?
wow.
What kind of bun? Like, I mean,
No, like just a regular hot
okay,
dog.
not
bun.
like a Costco
No,
hot
no,
dog
no,
bun. Okay,
no.
yeah.
No, we're talking regular hot dog bun.
Okay, fair enough.
But anyways, so there's a person named Tell, and there's a person named Rude. We'll keep those names for now.
Tell and Rude.
Yes, Tell and Rude. And so basically, Rude was like, hey, Tell wants to hang out, but she doesn't want to hang out unless it's just us. She doesn't really trust anybody else. So do you want to go hang out with Tell and I will just like sit in a park and like talk shit? And I was like, all right, that's fine by me. So I pick up Rude. We were driving around for a while, and then she's like, we should stop at the store and we should get like drinks and shit. And I'm like, all right. I don't really want to drink in a park, and I've never had alcohol before, so I'm not going to be drinking. But
Drinking in a park is underrated. Don't knock it till you try
well,
it.
I was like, it's a very Seattle thing to do. That's
Yeah.
fine. We can do that.
I did it up in Bellingham, to be fair, but yeah.
Same vibe.
Yeah.
But so we go to the store and we buy some fucking drinks and shit, and then we pick up Tell and we go to the park. Sit down in the park. Fucking Rude is 2 beers in, smashed, absolutely fucking hammered.
Lightweight.
Yeah, like
Baby.
to the point where maybe this was probably 4 beers in. We were having like a really normal conversation, and then I watched her like start shimmying something under the table, and I just kind of wasn't registering what was going on or like thinking anything was happening in front of me, and then I heard like water start hitting the floor.
Oh no.
And I was like, I just kind of like, I stopped what I was saying. I remember I was mid sentence, and I was like, "Are you pissing right now?" And she just looked at me and she was like, "Oh yeah, of course." And I was
Of
like,
course.
I was like, "Oh, okay, that's fine."
Honestly, respect. That is kind of a Chad move.
Dude,
But
pretty fucking much. But yeah, and so that was kind of the vibe for the night. Tell gets like maybe 5 beers in, and she's starting to get pretty fucking hammered, and I'm sitting there sober as a child. And then all of a
depends
sudden,
what child.
Yeah,
Not a
doesn't-
child in Italy, but
yeah, not a
child
child.
in a
Not a child in a Catholic
America.
I'm
church.
sober as a newborn. But so eventually, we're starting to see like crackheads like dance around us because they're starting to notice that we're the only.
teleporting around.
The ritual has begun.
Well, yeah, no, legitimately, you can watch them. They circle like sharks. Like they're checking you out to make sure that you're not like a narc or you're not gonna like flip out on them.
Yeah.
So we've been at this park for like probably 2.5 hours, and the homeless people start noticing that not only are we drinking, we're not leaving the park.
Right.
So they're just like, oh, these are people like us. So one of them,
One of us.
Yeah.
One of us.
one of
One
them,
of us.
one of them takes the brave step and walks over to us and is like, hey, you guys got a fucking lighter? And I was like, yeah, sure, I got a lighter. So I took out my lighter and I gave it to him. He sits down and he takes out this little pouch and just kind of sits it on the table. And he grabs my lighter and he's like, okay, now does anybody else have a cigarette? And I was like, I don't have cigarettes, but I got these fucking like CBD cigarettes. They're just hemp cigarettes. And he was like, all right, that sounds cool. Give me one. So I gave him one and he starts smoking it. And he just kind of sits there and he starts talking to us about all sorts of shit. His dick was like really hard for white rappers. Like he really liked like white woke rappers.
Dick riding
Oh my
white
God.
rappers.
No, it was crazy. Like, cause he sat down and he was like, oh, do you guys like rap? And I was like, yeah. And this was a black man, of course. And I was like, yeah, I like rap. And he was like, I'm going to show you some shit you've never heard before. And
Should have introduced him to Jesse Lee Peterson.
I thought about it. If I had known
Amazing.
about him at the time.
Amazing.
And so he was like, all right, give me your phone. And so Rude hands him her phone. And by the way, I should mention that Rude is the one catcalling these homeless people to our table.
Yeah, she's not very street smart. And sorry if you're listening to this.
No, she
but
is. She just
she's-
wants to die.
Yeah, she
Nice.
has a death wish. I remember distinctly her at my house. I think you were there too. She just walked outside to take a phone call and
Oh,
walked
yeah,
down
that
an
was fun.
alley that I didn't even
Yeah.
want to be down.
Jesus.
And she was like, "Oh, it's fine. I have a knife." And it's like, I don't care. I don't have a knife.
Yeah, like if I had a knife, I wouldn't be confident.
Yeah. And also, I'm from this neighborhood. I know when it's dangerous and when it's not dangerous.
And men are just better than women, you know.
Yeah.
Dude
But
rock.
Pro misogyny podcast, by the way.
yes, so Rude is catcalling these homeless people over to our table to come sit down and talk with us. She's giving them beers. I've given a man a cigarette now. But
When you give a homeless man a beer,
exactly, like
Oh, GG's.
he's probably gonna sit down and lecture you on white rappers. So he showed me like 4 or 5 different like white woke rappers that are all doing like the Macklemore thing of like, oh, he's rapping, but it's got like a positive message.
Right.
that
Gross.
sounds like
That's
a
fucking
really
awful.
not fun night.
Dude, it was
Jesus.
bad.
Rap
'cause
about drugs, you fucking loser.
That's what I'm saying. Like money, bitches, hoes. I need only to hear about that.
Listen to some fucking Yeet, goddammit.
I don't need to hear all this Kanye shit about him talking about God. I want him to talk about him fucking a model who bleached her asshole and he got bleach on his t-shirt.
If I fuck this model
Praise.
and she got bleach in her asshole and I get bleach on my t-shirt, I'm gonna feel like an asshole.
Bars.
Sorry.
But so like 4 or 5 white rappers later, she catcalls over another homeless lady who is wearing, it looks like she got lost at a rave 20 years ago and never really recovered from that.
Hot.
She's got like fuzzy leg
Has been wandering ever since.
Yeah, no, like she's got like the oldest looking pink leg warmers I've ever seen in my life. She's wearing only a vest above that with like just a bra. And she's wearing speed dealer glasses.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah.
That rocks.
And she's got fucking giant hair. So she was partying. She was having a good time. So she sits down next to the first homeless dude who sat down with us and like puts her arm over him and shit like that. And then she starts fumbling around in this little pouch that the first guy sat down next to him. I just kind of like clocked that because I was like, I wonder what's going to happen here. What could she possibly pull out of this pouch? Sure enough, crack pipe. Just like,
oh hell yeah.
without a single second of hesitation, like pulls it out of there and just like lights it up while she's like looking all of us in the eye. And I'm sitting there like, oh man, somebody's smoking crack at my table right now.
Yeah.
I'm feet away.
Welcome.
And then my instant thought at that moment was like, can you get secondhand high on crack? Because she was blowing it downwind straight into my face.
Nice.
And I was like, is this it? Is this when I finally assume my redneck roots and become a crack addict?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I mean, the redneck drug would be
And
crack
also,
or meth.
This is why I'm a proponent of those like safe injection sites for like fentanyl and shit. It's like, because a homeless person on fentanyl is on the street taking a fat nap. Crackheads are like,
They're doing the most.
they're doing the most. Yeah, exactly. You want a homeless person to cover as much ground as possible, you give them crack. You want them to go ahead and sit down on the sidewalk and like take a nice little nap, you give them some like, you know, some fentanyl.
Yeah,
you know
of
what I
course.
mean? It's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
addicted to heroin.
yeah. Well, it's like, well, if you're going to be on the
Positive and
street,
negative reinforcement.
if you're going to be on the street and addicted to something, it's like, at least let's try being addicted to something that doesn't make you a fucking crazy asshole.
A menace.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah, because I mean, like moments after that, she got up and just like started dancing. I hesitate to call it dancing because it was more like just like jerking around. It was like Elaine's dance in Seinfeld, but less sensible.
What I'm looking for in this story is the point where you meet the homophobic Nazi guy.
Well, yeah, so that was at the end of the night. So we vetted those first 2 people, and they were decent. Like,
You did a rigorous vetting process
Yes.
on the lady that smoked crack and the fan of white rappers.
well, no, so like she didn't really say much. She was just kind of like looking around and smoking crack every once in a while. Like she didn't really have much.
As you do.
Yeah, you know, she didn't have much to say. It was we were in Seattle on a fucking Sunday night, you know.
Nice.
Fast forward, those 2, nothing really happened with them. They just smoked crack at the table. They wrote down like some weird motivational quotes into Rude's notebook, and then they left. But eventually, we were still sitting there, still drinking. It's probably like 11 p.m. at this point, and this like kind of buff, skinhead white dude comes up and again asks for a lighter, and I'm like, yeah, sure, man. Here's a fucking lighter. And so he takes my lighter. He walks away. He goes, lights and cigarette. Brings my lighter back, and then he walks away again. Rude, at this point, is like probably 6 beers into the night. So I don't even know if she remembers any of this. But she starts catcalling him, too. It's like, hey, come back here. Come talk to us. And I'm like, dude, are you bored? And, like, you want us to be murdered? Because
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much right.
Probably yes.
Yes. And by the way, she's pissed in front of me twice at this point in the night.
She's lucky you don't have that fetish.
Yeah, I was like... I was sitting there.
Giving away a free show.
Yeah, she's fucking lucky in a lot of circumstances, especially this one. So when he sits down, it was all pretty normal at first. It was just like regular conversation that you make with a homeless person while you're drunk.
Right.
Right, of course.
Yes, as you do. But eventually, Rude kind of clocked that he was wearing a Mjolnir. Like he had a Mjolnir necklace. And so she saw that, and like I watched it happen in front of me. Like she looked at it and like had the thought, like, "Oh my god, he's racist." And so then she started talking about like white supremacy and shit like that, and she got him going, like really heavy on this whole rant about.
She poked the hornet's nest.
Well, so he he did a really good job of saying white supremacy without saying white supremacy. And it was really funny to hear him
not
like
Dog
racist,
whistling,
but-
as they say.
well, yeah, it was really funny to hear him in like a roundabout way say that white people are better, but it was one of those things where he was constantly backpedaling of like where it was like, it's not that I believe that like whites are superior per se. It's just that like I believe that in the current society with the way that things are, maybe whites have like a natural advantage. You know what I mean? Like it's
Right.
it's not that we're like
course.
inherently superior, but like God did make us better.
Right.
Like it was
Right.
that shit.
I mean, classic, arguments you can't, there's no counter to, obviously.
Yeah.
Except for
Facts
just
and
saying
logic.
like straight up no. Like
Yeah.
that's the only way to counter that is be like, no, you're wrong.
Yeah.
It's the Donald Trump arguing method. You're just wrong.
Wrong. Actually, you're wrong.
Factually wrong.
Yeah.
Fake news.
no, fake news.
Fake news.
But so yeah, he goes on all those sorts of fucking tirades, and I think he realized that like he was losing his audience because Tell is a trans woman and she was not down for the cause
Yeah.
that this
Oh.
man was spewing. So I actually got a text from her midway through where she was like, "I literally have my hand on my knife right now," and I was like, "That's scary because I'm sitting next to you, not him."
yeah.
Yeah. Please don't stab me.
I was like,
Christ.
"Please don't miss. You're very drunk." So he started like losing his audience really quickly, and he did the only thing a white supremacist thought he could do, and he tried to hit on the girl who was egging him on. So he starts like
course.
really heavily making a pass at Rude, and he went to all sorts of lengths to do this. Like the first one was just like he started throwing out compliments. He was like, "Oh yeah, but like you're cute. Like I bet you don't care about racism, like that sort of shit." Like, he's throwing out little.
You seem down with the cause.
Yeah,
yeah.
hey, you seem cool with this. And then she started talking about how she did date almost exactly this guy, and so that like egged
Well,
him
yeah,
on.
Dave.
Well, no, this was before Dave. This was pre-Dave,
Oh, of course.
pre-dating Dave.
Not pre-Dave.
Yeah, but
BD.
which is
before
actually
Dave.
a fun fact. That's what they called him in college because he would come too quickly. But
Got him.
got him. Fuck that bitch. Fuck you, Dave. Listen to this podcast. But so eventually, he starts making passes at her, which culminated in because she realized what he was doing, and she's a fucking asshole. So she started like leaning into it, but like in a teasing way. And so like it got to a point where he was like in her face, like trying to kiss her, but she was like backing away over and over again. And at that point, I was like, this is getting real rapey. And
Yeah.
I know what this guy looks like, and I have a very realistic view of where I stand in the world and my abilities. So I know that if this man tries to rape her, there's not much I can do. I'm
Gonna have to borrow Tell's knife.
yeah, I think like 3v1 maybe, but this guy is also crazy and racist.
3v1
Yeah.
in Rust or in Minecraft or
Yeah, in Minecraft.
Minecraft, of course. This all happened.
Jacob
in
was
Minecraft,
thinking
by the way.
like
He had enchanted diamond
I could
armor.
beat him up, but I'm wearing new shoes. I'd hate to see them get scuffed. There's really nothing I could do
Well, it was
here.
one of those things where I was like, what's easier in this situation, like stopping a rape or driving home?
Right. Well, isn't driving home almost always easier?
Exactly.
Okay. Well,
That's
all right.
PSA. If you're seeing a rape out there, it's easier to drive home. Think of the paperwork.
That's the moral
Okay.
of this episode.
Moral of this episode:
Thank
it's
you
easier.
to our guest, Jacob.
But yeah, so after like unsuccessfully hitting on Rude for like maybe an hour and a half, he starts like his exit strategy, which is trying to get a ride from me.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice,
'cause he-
classy.
His excuse was he was like he did leave briefly. He left the table after not getting Rude Thought's number.
Right.
Like 25 minutes later, he came back and was like, "Hey, can any of you give me a ride?" And I was like, "Nah, sorry, man. Like, I'm driving. These two are pissed drunk. They don't even own cars between the two of them. I would give you a ride home, but I got to drive back to Shelton tonight, and like that's just way too far for me." He was like, "Well, it's just like here's the thing, man. It's like I walked around the corner and like there's like a whole bunch of cops out there, and like I didn't tell you guys about this, but like I got a few warrants out for me right now, so like." If they see me, I'm probably gonna get arrested. And I was like,
I'd love to know the thought process that's like, all right, I'll tell him I have warrants, and
Yeah.
that'll make him want to give me a ride.
that'll
home.
make them trust me.
Yeah.
They
Well, not
seem-
even trust. It's just like more inconvenient for you because now you're literally like transporting a wanted criminal.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
if you
I,
know about it,
I'm an
too.
accessory to a crime
Yeah.
at that
Yes,
point.
yes.
Well, yeah, so I was just like,
If you didn't know, then you would not be an accessory.
Yeah,
You would be
true.
an unknowing.
You'd be one of the
accessory.
2,000 mules that we're
Yeah.
hearing so much about.
I'd be preyed upon. he gives me that excuse, and I'm like, I don't know, sorry, man, that sounds like a you issue. Like, I can't really do anything about
Personal
that.
issue.
Like I said, I've told you what I have to say, man. Like, I can't give you a ride home. You're gonna have to find somewhere else. Call a fucking Uber. And he was like, all right, well, like, if you can't give me a ride home, like, do any of you guys have like a phone I could borrow? And Rude was like, yeah, sure. And here's my fucking phone. So she gives him her phone, and then her phone dies while he's trying to use it. And he was like,
All
listen,
women born after 1990 know is charge they phone.
except apparently not.
Except, guess not.
Not Rude.
Charge they phone, eat McDonald's, eat hot chip, and lie.
Be bisexual.
Be bisexual.
Call you on Wi-Fi because they phone bill always unpaid. He's like, all right, I need to use somebody's phone. And then Rude's phone dies in his hand. And he's like, all right, can I use somebody else's phone? And I was like, not about to hand him my phone. Because I was like, who knows what the fuck this guy is going to do with it? Rude's phone is a piece of shit. So if he was planning on stealing a phone, he got the wrong draw on the first one.
Yeah.
And I think that made him have to go deeper into his lie. Because he was like, I just got to, like, call my girlfriend. Because she'll come pick me up, but she's kind of like a bitch about these things. So, like, I got to call her and tell her, like, it's dire. Yeah, he was
I'm
like...
in dire straits, my
Yeah.
love.
Yeah. And he was like...
Come and pick me up near the local constabulatory
Yeah.
at once.
Could you
Looking
please
like
point
a
me...
true wanted criminal.
Could you please point me in the direction of the nearest apothecary? So,
I need to buy some crack cocaine.
do any of you guys potentially have a hookup on some crack
A
cocaine?
crack emporium, if you will.
Mr. McGorium's crack emporium.
Oh, yeah.
But so, eventually, Tell gives him her phone, and he makes a phone call, and I was like, can you put that on speaker? I want to hear this. And he does. He put it on speaker, and it rang all the way through, and then nobody answered, and he was like, this happens every fucking time. Watch. Second try, she's going to answer. And I was
Man
like...
needs to widen his criminal network if his only contacts aren't responding
Yeah.
in his time of
if
need.
if they don't respond on the first call, like, are they there for you?
Yeah, are they a professional, or do you need to expand your network a little bit?
Yeah, so he calls again, and she doesn't
Network
fucking
is
answer.
your net worth, folks.
Uh-huh. If you're
Rise
poor.
and grind, Sigma grind set.
Remember, if you're poor, it only matters who's around you.
Exactly.
So, yeah, he calls twice on Tell's phone, and then nobody answers. And I'm like, hey, man, is it going to be a third time this time? And he's like, trust me, man, it's the third time every time. I said
Third
it was
time's the charm.
I said it was the second one, but honestly, it's always three. I don't know. I forgot. And so he calls the third time, no answer again. And he's starting to get, like, really angry at this point, but at, like, no one in particular. Because he can't be angry at us, because he's still trying to get a ride from us. So he can't be
He
like
has to direct it somewhere.
Yeah, so he's just getting angry at this, I think, fictitious girlfriend that she's not answering her phone. I sincerely think he just typed in random numbers.
I mean, it's possible. It's always possible. Maybe he was just stalling, trying to wait for his opening to steal the phone. I don't know.
That's what I was thinking the entire time, is that, like, he was trying to steal a phone, and he kept getting shit phones.
Yeah.
And I wasn't going to give him my phone, so he was never going to have one to steal.
Yeah.
But, so he ends up sitting there for, like, another hour, just, like, once again trying to fuck Rude. Eventually, she is finally fed up with his shit and is like, listen, man, you need to fucking go. We're all getting uncomfortable here. And it was insane, because
You fucking invited him over like twice, though.
I
Like,
know. She kept calling him back, and I was like, now you're over it? Like, fuck off.
Yeah.
I was like, now you have to fuck him.
Women.
That's the rule.
Yeah.
Now you're obligated.
You called him back twice. You need to fuck him.
Consent has
man.
been revoked.
Yeah.
The Supreme Court has ruled.
The Supreme Court has
Oh,
ruled.
yeah. I'm thinking it's the era of the dudes rock Supreme Court.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
It's for a Supreme Court for the fellas, finally. At long last, now that we
Finally.
got that
The
RGB
white men are
bitch out
finally
there.
in power.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg, whatever her name was.
But yeah, so
This is the exact nightmare all those
Oh yeah,
ladies
that was
have
a
when
merch.
they're-
That was a merch idea. It was going to be Ruth Bader Ginsburg, but it was going to be like RGB, and it was
Oh,
going to
yeah.
be like gamer lighting on the shirt.
Yeah.
her eyes are like NVIDIA symbols.
Yeah, exactly.
Mechanical keyboard and the fucking cat ear streamer headphones.
She's sitting in a DX racer.
Of course. What
Um,
else would she be sitting in?
But yeah, so he just started getting like really angry and was like, killing the vibe, man. And so Rude like talked this fucking white supremacist like dude bro out of the table somehow. It was honestly really impressive. Like I've never
The
seen
art of the deal, baby.
I've never seen a man like that be that scared of like what was she like 4 foot 5'11", maybe
Yeah,
like
she's very-
5'1",
She's pretty short. I think
And,
she's
like,
5'1".
and like maybe 100 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah, but to be fair, she's very intimidating. Ramon was intimidated by her the first time he met
Well,
her.
her whole fucking persona was talking about how she stabs people with forks.
Yeah, she stabbed
More
like
than
8
that.
people.
Yeah,
She talks about all the time how she should have felonies, but she doesn't.
because she's a white woman.
Remember, it's a man's world. So
This is an anti-white woman podcast. by the way.
Literally is.
Facebook moms, we're coming for you.
Oh yeah, Karen. Well, except for the ones that visit Target. Ramon still wants to hit those,
But, yeah, I'm not gonna be happy about it.
but I won't be happy about it.
I'll be taking one for the team. So eventually that guy fucking leaves, and we don't really hear from him. And at that point, I'm like, I'm not giving her another chance to call another homeless person, because at this point, they're sitting there like, let's go get more beers. Like, let's keep fucking drinking. And I'm like, no, I gotta fucking go. So I wrangle them up, and then I get them in the car. And then the best part of the night happens, because Ruth Thought still has half of a pineapple beer in a can. And she also has an entire bag of Tim's sea salt and vinegar chips. Now,
Okay, now we're talking.
the location of these will change over the night, because it starts out that they're in her hands in the back of my car. And as we progress through the night and I drive her home, and she slowly details to me her plan to murder the person who first raped her, with the help of her new boyfriend, which, now that I think about it, I think it was Dave.
Yeah, I think it was.
I think it was Dave at that time. Anyways, so they talked about how they were planning on murdering her original rapist.
Which honestly, respect.
Yeah.
Respect. Like,
They had a really shitty plan. I had to talk her through a lot of
it's
the
a
points.
shitty plan, and you probably shouldn't do it for your own sake. But like, we're not saying you shouldn't.
I'm not saying you shouldn't kill a rapist.
Legally, I'm saying you shouldn't. But
Yeah.
in Minecraft,
Yeah, if you're in Minecraft and somebody confesses to rape, maybe kill them.
yes.
You
In
gotta have a
Minecraft.
good plan first. Yeah.
But
We're
yeah, so
not vigilantes. But
I had to
in Minecraft,
with
yes.
with my extensive true crime knowledge, I had to talk her through a lot of her plan.
Oh yeah.
And I was just sitting there like, no, you're fucking stupid. You're gonna get caught right here. You're gonna get caught here. You need to do this better.
You're one of the only guys I know that is actually into true crime and doesn't just pretend to be to get pussy.
The shit's interesting. And I like metal. I like really heavy metal shit.
Yeah.
And a lot of it
What's
is
more heavy metal than upset housewife murdering her husband in cold blood?
Pretty metal.
it's usually pretty fucking metal. Because in that case specifically, it's always like the housewife has had it up to fucking here, so she just
she'll do some
explodes.
wild ass shit.
Yeah, and
like
she's
cut
like-
off his dick and make him eat it,
Or like she
something.
dropped like a stand mixer on him or something like that, because she was like, and this is for the cake that you didn't appreciate me baking. Pow!
Yeah, that's why you gotta have open communication with your partners, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
that's
you gotta,
why.
if they ever get mad at you, remember the first question you need to ask them, and this will always de-escalate the situation. Are you mad at me? Do you want to murder me? You need to ask those questions first, because that'll never make a woman even more angry.
We should honestly have you come on again as our Dr. Phil. Do a little love line. We can have some callers call in.
Dude, I would love to give
Please
people
call
relationship
in.
advice.
Please call in to 253 ass.
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 That's ass with 4 S's.
Yeah.
So yeah, she details me that plan to kill her rapist, and that was basically the entire drive home. But you see, I finally make it to her house, right? And she's about to get out of my car, and she brought a kite with her because we went to Gasworks, so she was flying a kite on the hill. Side story, while she was flying the kite, she was actively trying to dive bomb people. Like, she would specifically fly the kite close to people to get close to hitting them and then not hit them.
Fucking child.
Dude, and then worse
like
than that,
literally an annoying 8-year-old.
worse
dude.
than that, at one point, she noticed that there was a girl sunbathing on the side of the hill. So she positioned the kite where the kite was perfectly blocking just this girl's midsection. So she was, like, just getting shade over the middle of her body.
That's like something you would read in like Dennis the Menace.
I know, I was like, this is some serious fucking, like, stupid cartoon shit that you're doing right now.
Yeah.
And I was just sitting there, like, looking at people like, I don't know her. I've never met this lady in my life. Who is
Yeah,
this kite
that's
lady?
what you should do.
She is trying to get out of my car. She's holding an open bag of sea salt and vinegar chips, a half-drinking in a can pineapple beer. And she goes and bends over to reach to get her kite. And both of the things that she's holding spill directly into the backseat of my car.
Nice.
I don't know if you guys have ever smelled a combination of pineapple and sea salt and vinegar, but it is fucking atrocious.
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine it would be very good.
It's
There's
what
a reason why people don't make pickled pineapple.
it's what
Because they're cowards.
just from looking at pictures alone, it's what I assume trans pussy smells like.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus. This is a pro-trans podcast, by the way.
If I was looking at pictures of trans pussy, that's what I imagine.
I won't stand for trans pussy
I mean,
slander
there's
on this
bad
podcast.
biological pussy out there too.
Yeah,
so.
there's bad biological pussy.
I
as
know,
well.
and I'm practicing equality and treating these trans people like women and giving them the ability to also have bad pussy.
All right, then, yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
That sort of mirrors
passes
our,
the sniff
See?
test.
that mirrors our all women are bad at driving.
Yeah,
bit.
that's fair enough.
But yeah, so she spills all that shit into the back of my car, and then I hear her go, "Oh fuck!" and she starts.
Oh, fuck me, daddy.
Yeah, I was sitting there like, what's happening back there? Did the white supremacist guy follow us? But so she dumps all of that into the back of my car, and I realize that that's happening. So I look back there, and I'm like, holy shit, what the fuck? Stop. Just stand up, put everything down. And so she puts everything down, and she just stands in front of my car, and I go back there, and I like gather up all her shit and like give it to her. And then she's like, can you help me get inside of my house? I don't know how to fucking get in there. And like, I'm too fucking drunk. All right, fine. And so she has a gate that leads to her front door.
Simp.
I was just trying to get her the fuck out of my hair.
Simp.
Because I...
Simp material right there.
No,
I would have just kicked her to the curb like a dog.
Wow.
Deal
Yeah,
with it.
Dude rock move.
At that point, she was still like almost actively in my car. So I couldn't just like start driving.
Oh, yeah.
And also, she's fucking crazy. So I didn't want to pull any shady shit with her.
Yeah.
So anyways, I'm trying to open her gate, and I don't know how the fuck to get it open. This is a real, like, couldn't open the condom situation. Where I'm just sitting there like, this doesn't always happen. I can normally open gates pretty well.
This never happens to me.
Yeah. So I'm sitting there trying to open this gate, and then all of a sudden I'm hearing a familiar sound. It sounds like water is falling, and I'm like, it's not raining. It's not raining. She's pissing in the street again
Nice.
for the fourth time of the night.
Let's get a girls rock in here.
Yeah.
Girls rock.
Well, you golden shower
There,
enthusiasts out
that's
there.
the one not misogynist joke we'll do.
And no, so
There,
she's
you get one.
she's sitting there, literally like standing directly next to me, just pissing, and I'm sitting downhill from her. So I was like, all right, you know what? Fuck this shit. You open your gate. I'm getting the fuck out of here. So yeah, I got back in my car and I left. And then I didn't talk to her for like 4 or 5 months.
Nice.
I like
That's the way to go.
specifically ignored her in the server.
Because you were
Smart move.
scared.
No, I was still in there, and I was just like, I'm just not going to talk to this bitch. I got nothing to say.
Yeah. I remember you telling me that story originally after you gave me a ride home one night because you were very eager to tell me about your
I was like,
experience with
somebody
her.
else needs to know about
Someone
this.
needs to know what happened to me
Yeah.
that night, what I had to go through.
No, I remember that. We were parked in front of your old house, and I was sitting there like, man, like, I just can't believe that this even happened to me. Like, the events of the night were so spectacular that I was like,
Yeah.
I can't even believe that I was on the receiving end of this.
Yeah, it was crazy. Anyways, we're coming up on an hour and 40 minutes.
Oh,
so this might have to be
goodness.
might have to be a two-parter. This one. So
You think?
yeah, well,
Wow.
I'll get in the editing room in the.
We'll see what ends up on the cutting
back
room
to
floor.
work.
Yeah, we'll see how it ends up. Might just be a big boy Thickums episode, but
Okay, here, let me read one bit that I wrote to end this.
all right, we'll have him do his stand up, his open mic stand up, real quick.
I'm just gonna read through the shit that I wrote down I have like a notes page in my phone for when
Yeah.
I think of shit.
Yep.
So I'm just gonna read the last thing that I wrote. That's not the one that I told you before the podcast. All I wrote here, and I don't know what this was about or where this was going.
Better not be just the N word
No.
70 times.
Yeah,
that
not
would've been-
again.
that would've
not
been
again,
great.
Jacob.
Ramon, you
That
did
one-
that.
It was
Not gonna
65
lie,
times
I don't
last
mean to
time.
be rude, Jacob, but the last time you told that bit, it kind of bombed.
People in Tacoma were not happy.
Yeah, they were not.
Not
Tough
fans.
crowd.
I was thinking to myself, nobody ever tries to set you up with a fat person if you're attractive. You know what I mean? Like, if you're a generally good-looking person, like, nobody's like, here's my fat friend Sarah. You'd probably like her a lot.
Yeah.
That was about all I wrote down. I was really high.
That was your
So-
bit.
Yeah,
That
I
was
wrote-
your bit.
I
was
wrote
just
that
like-
down, and I was like, that'll kill.
Don't you just hate when your friend tries to set you up with some disgusting
Just
fat bitch?
obese
Yeah.
fucking
Ew.
whale.
No
And you
fat chicks.
And you gotta be, you gotta be there.
There's
and
nothing wrong with a big bitch. Every
you
once
gotta
in a
look the
while.
fat chick in the eye, and you gotta go, listen here, Shamu, it's not for us.
Jesus,
This tank's not big enough for both of us.
I disavow that bit. I like
Okay, here-
I
here-
like thick women.
I like so a lot of the women that I fucked in my time have been fat chicks because I'm not attractive. That's why the bit hits home.
So is that why
So you've been
women always have
set up
breathing
with a
problems
bunch,
when you
yeah.
have sex with them?
Yes.
That's a bit that you tell on
You have
Yes,
to
I
fuck
do.
me with my COPD mask on. Sorry.
It's got to sound like Darth Vader when we're fucking.
Yeah.
It's fine.
That's nice.
Here. Okay. So I here's a better one. If you get a package delivered by air, sometimes they don't do like a whole cargo plane.
Oh, I'll deliver a package by air. All right.
That's right. You're hearing it first. He's here for long distance relationships. He's willing to make it
I
work
am
through a
not.
distance.
I will not drive more than
Through
5
thick and
miles.
thin.
If you're not within walking distance, he
Yeah.
doesn't want it.
And he understands women have needs, so if you need to make it poly, it's okay on your end. But Matt
As
will stay
long as it's
faithful.
poly with Jesus.
Yeah.
No, I never agreed to this.
But so, anyways, if you get a package delivered by air, sometimes they won't put it on a cargo plane. They'll just put it in the cargo section of like a passenger plane. So it's just flying with a bunch of random people who are like in coach, which makes you think like, you think there's anybody who ordered anything like to have it delivered and they're like, oh, it's going to be delivered on September 11th.
Oh, the real victims of 9/11.
Like, how do you even go about the refund process with
all
that
the
though? You know what I mean?
cargo
Like,
could never be refunded.
like somebody's missing a broom out there and
All
they're
of
like,
Chicago.
Even the guy who owned the World Trade Center had insurance on the building.
I know.
you know, like you can't ask for a refund after
He
that.
got his money back,
Yeah.
but I'm not supposed to get my money
Thank
back.
God this was the day before Amazon Prime. Am I right, folks? Otherwise, that would have been a real disaster.
Oh yeah, Jeffy
lot.
would have a real bad day.
A lot of support requests going in on that day.
Well, thank you, Jacob.
Yeah.
You're welcome. For
Thanks
that.
to our first special guest, Jacob Amann. Check out his shit. Check out his Instagram.
We gotta get
at
like a
Coop
little.
Doop.
Yeah, we gotta get a little applause feature on this thing.
Oh yeah. Well, it came pre-filled, but I replaced it with our shitty sound bits. So
They're
they're top quality, ladies and gentlemen. But
Bringing you the best in memes.
anyways, that was the latest episodes of American Super Squad. I'll decide if we're gonna split these into 2 parts later. But yeah, that's the episode.
Follow us on Patreon.
Yes, follow us on Patreon. Follow us on all our shit. Instagram, YouTube.
Daddy needs his bills paid.
If you
Daddy
subscribe,
needs his bills paid.
if you subscribe at $10K a month, I will send you hourly pictures of my butthole.
Thank you. Does
That-
it come like maybe you could send like
We're
little,
gonna hold you to that. We're
No,
gonna
no,
make
no.
you
Like
sign a
I'm talking
contract.
about like autographed Polaroids.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, sign and like maybe a little like mushroom too. Maybe?
premium shit.
I don't know about that.
Okay.
Mushrooms don't travel well.
He'll
Oh, yeah,
give up his asshole.
15K.
He'll give
15K.
up his
15K.
asshole, but not any of his premium quality mushrooms.
15K, I will come to your house and I will cook you a mushroom pasta dinner made with my cum.
You heard it here first, folks. Get us that money.
It is
Get
an
us
assault
that
component.
money. Run us that bag. All right. Well, have a good one, folks. Later. Bye.
Bye.
Put this in your ears.